Now the situation changes, such as driving a car, whether it's a small car or a big car, it's the same in different situations. There will always be blind spots and there will be many and few blind spots. It's that we're not very careful. We're going to change lanes, we're going to make turns, we're going to have to watch our blind spots. It happens all the time. Therefore, it arises from the fact that when we drive, our field of view is only 75 degrees. At speed, it cuts off our perception of the sides. The perspective is further diminished. Therefore we will only see here. But we have side mirrors. We looked in the side mirror to help. When looking, look at 3 sides. When driving a big car, look at 3 points, that is, look at the footpath on the left in the middle. Right footpath or sticking to the middle of the road, that is, look to the left, look to the middle, look to the right. When we look in this direction, it's 75 degrees and it's just within our arm's length. It makes us see this perspective. At the same time, look towards the side mirror. It's just going to be an angle here. And then we'll just see here and the back. It appears that what we cannot see in the side mirror, it's right here in this corner. We call it the blind spot. The blind spot is if you drive on the right side. This blind spot will have limited space. But it can cause blind spots. But if you stay here, your blind spot will be very wide. The back is the same. We look in the mirror and we may develop blind spots. Because it's a small car but yours is a big car. Because the car is big, the area is high. Looking into the blind spot or the incident point of seeing through every light object, or what is called blind spots, it will increase. So we must always study that blind spots can occur on each side and that they occur behind. If we want to change lanes, turn, or overtake, besides seeing if the car that is about to overtake can overtake us, there are no side mirrors. We also need to look at blind spots. That blind spot. Is there anything that is in our blind spot? Looking at the blind spot, we drive, we see this side with the mirror and this side, the mirror is 75 degrees, look at this and we will look at this. We will change lanes to the right. We eliminate blind spots by looking over our shoulders. Looking over my shoulder, we will look towards the blind spot. That is, when I look in the mirror and I don't see it, my blind spot is there. We have to look at blind spots. I mean, it's in this direction. We look at our blind spots this way. As soon as our eyes look like this, it will be 75 degrees as well. Cross over and we'll give you the same blind spot. This is to eliminate blind spots. When we understand the situation, it changes all the time. We looked in the side mirror and there was no car. Look at the board and you might see a car. Because the situation can change. Now let's look at the matter of forecasting. In the accident that happened, why do we predict accidents? He said that the accident caused conditions like an iceberg. We've seen the story of Titanic, right? The Titanic iceberg is an iceberg. But where it hit below. Because the iceberg is as oily as you can see. That is, it goes up a little bit. Other than that, it was submerged underwater. And sometimes it sinks in and expands widely. The losses above we can see and assess. We see it clearly, but what is there next to the water? I'm starting to not see it. That's the damage. And what is it that is submerged underwater? This is something we don't see. And we didn't even think about it. The direct damage is above the water that we can see. Medical expenses, people getting hurt, people dying, all these things, we see it all. And as for the indirect damage, it is damage that did not occur for us to see. It's a loss of time. Economic losses, various losses, these are indirect losses. It will go into the matter of suppose a car crashes and an accident occurs, someone dies, someone goes to jail. People in prison must pay taxes to support them. How much per person per day is there? There will be many deaths. There are a lot of people in prison. There are so many people in prison that we have to use our taxes to support more people in prison. As soon as he got out of prison, we still haven't given him a chance to adjust to his work. Some people cannot adapt and become thieves, causing social problems. This is the indirect damage of having a child. The child cannot survive and must become a problem in society regarding drugs. Was led to another path that was damaged. It is an indirect problem. Therefore, direct and indirect problems, it is a problem that we should think about. There's more to it than we think about. Direct loss, it appeared and sprayed a little bit of water. But indirectly, it was submerged and the loss was even greater than the direct damage. So let's look at why we need to predict accidents. Prediction is really necessary. I will say that no one wants an accident to happen. It was because of an accident. We just went to punish him. Not everyone has intentions. But everyone can be careful. And to be careful, we have to make predictions first. If we can predict it, we can be careful. What is a disadvantage of Thai people is that they often think that it won't happen. It won't happen. Driving with a motorcycle parked at the entrance of the alley. Hey, it's not coming out. It's not there. It's not like this, it can't be, we're fooling ourselves. People will cross the road and stand on the side of the road. But he stood still. Then he looked straight to the opposite side. We thought he wouldn't cross it. Or saw a person running across the street and stopping on the opposite side. We thought that we would not cross back again. This is thinking like people in Thailand. Which it isn't. We should change the concept. Don't think that it won't happen. We have to think that it should happen, it must come out, it must cross over. That is correct thinking. Think beforehand that it will happen. And when it happens, we will be able to say that's what I thought. Therefore, the prediction of various accidents, it's something that invites you to think. We will talk again about how we can predict that various accidents will happen. And how can we predict them? Therefore, we try to predict accidents correctly. If we predict that no cars will come, there's nothing coming. That is a wrong prediction. There is a risk that it may be dangerous. Therefore, we must always predict that accidents will happen. If any event occurs, predicting driving is predicting that something will happen. But if we break it down, it's by making predictions by driving. Predict like a professional when driving. Is a professional actually driving? It may not be like our Transport Act. The design of a small car can predict the design of the driver. He watched the action from the perspective of the fellow riders. He has a driving angle. We will predict the movements of other road users. Or other cars. We know how to look at dangerous corners that may result from parking. Dangerous corners on straight roads, curves, and intersections all have their patterns. We can learn from it. So that we can understand that it comes in this form. How will we drive?